Good morning out there, everybody. How are we doing today? Theo, Tio, Yannick, welcome. How are you on this Sunday? I'm doing all right. Finally got to sleep in a little bit based on my normal schedule. Feeling good about today's Sunday build. Tio and Theo, I will make sure to use your Yuppie and your Iggy, respectively, in our Brickspedition today. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Now, in the description of today's video, you will have noticed that I put in a call out for the end of the Ghostbusters event and to see your thoughts. We do still have Slimer's Master event here for another 5 days, but since it requires that you use all of the Ghostbusters, and the Ghostbusters are no longer available in the game, you've either done it or not by this point, right? You either have your Slimer or you don't, and you've gotten as far as you're going to get. At least that's the way I see it. So, I want to hear from you guys what you thought of the Ghostbusters event now that it is basically over. Ready? Go. In the meantime, we are going to be just doing our normal routine here. We have a couple new quests to look at in the time quest, not new quest, sorry. Grand Champion in the arena, great. Waste Hunter is the new current timed quest for another 2 hours. I'm gonna see if I can spend another 200 or so mashup energy to get these tier 4 set tools. They are going to be extraordinarily useful once the cap is lifted on the premium sets. So I want to make sure to get as many of those as I can. I'm significantly less concerned with getting 5 Egon tiles. As you can see, I still need 20 Egon tiles to actually get him for any particular purpose. So I'm going to come in to our campaigns for the day. I have already spent a bit of energy to grab Magisto when I woke up this morning, so we're going to come in and just continue to clear things out as per usual. Grabbing our chef tiles right here at the beginning. Great. Going to go ahead and spend 50 gems to grab an additional 100 monolith currency so that I can come in and grab my Headley tiles for the morning. And let's see. I think I'll go ahead today and spend another 50 gems on another 100 monolith energy. I am actually really farming hard a lot of the things in the monolith store right now. Private LeQuay, again, to just finish out that 7-star pirate team. Reed and Kelvin for the space team. I'm also going to be focusing on getting my hiker up to 7 stars because I use him every single day. And he's only at 5 stars currently. Weirdness. I'm way behind on the hiker, but we're working him there. That should have been enough to complete that timed quest to the level that we want to complete it. Again, I'm not going for the full finish on that one because it's just too much for too little. Let's see. Theo says, the event was okay, but there was a lot of hype for 3 weeks to be unplayable without paying into the game. That is definitely true. The hype for the Ghostbusters definitely overshadowed the reality. Even if you like the Ghostbusters, I think we can all agree that the hype for them was much greater than the reality ended up being. So good call there. EMZ, characters in the new map I really like, but getting them is the problem. Yep, we're seeing a running theme here, aren't we? And then there were too many characters behind too many paywalls for my liking. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do about this in the future. I think that as far as Gameloft is concerned, it would be interesting to see how much revenue the Ghostbusters generated for them compared to how much revenue they expected the Ghostbusters to generate for them. You see what I mean here? So if they were like, oh, let's say that the Ghostbusters are going to net us $1 million, and the Ghostbusters netted $2 million. Well, then we're going to see a lot more setups like that. Now, if they were like, oh, we were expecting the Ghostbusters to net us $1 million and it only got us a couple 100,000, then we'll see some revisiting, right? Because then obviously the reality is failing to meet their expectations, and that's kind of an important thing in business, isn't it? So I'll be very interested to see where we go from there. Tio, you got your Gear 6 Garmadon. Excellent, dude. How many stars is your Garmadon at now? That's what we need to find out. Probably 2, right? Does anybody have Garmadon above 2 stars? I don't think so. Not yet, at least. Okay, we're doing the brick separator because we have it. The brick separator, to me, is such a weird mechanic. Like, I know that brick separators exist in real life and that you can use them in real life to separate your bricks, but putting them in the game, it's so weird. They give such lackluster rewards, and you have to do it every day. It's very strange. Tio, 2-star Garmadon. Excellent. Have you started using Garmadon in the arena? And is he doing you any good? That's what I want to know. Alright, coming here to the event store. Obviously, we have no event currency anymore. Let's see. Let's go ahead and buy all of the things we need to buy in the general store to unlock that little daily. The Brickspedition, I'm a little short on currency. Mashup, I've got plenty of currency. We're going to grab more Princess Verta tiles. And then turn our 5 Argenta tiles into some master currency over here. Now you guys might notice I am a little short on cash and gems. That is evidence of me having just used all of my gems to get cash. Cash monies, fool. I ended up upgrading, I think it was my Sal to 7 stars. So I'm going to go ahead and use my fire station again today. We are on board 2 of our Brickspedition, so it's going to be a little harder than yesterday. My hope is that we might see more teams with more debuffs to throw out to see if we can continue to work our team to something that makes the fire station useful. Right now, without Officer Primo, it is super weak, sir. Super weak. So, very little to be done about it. Oh, look at this team here at the top. Number 45 in the arena. We're going to come here and smash this guy real fast. Not quite yet. You're going to use him at 4 stars. Tio, you're going to use him at 4 stars. Then you have, what is it? You get 7 Garmadon tiles per week. You have him at 2 stars. So that means you need 35, 50, 85 divided by 7, 11, 12. That means it's going to be another 3 months before you can actually use him. Unless they give us a way to farm his tiles earlier, which I think a lot of people would be in favor of, to be honest with you. But we'll see. I mean, more ninjas in the game was not really something that people were crying for. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can take out Argenta before the taunt. Ooh, now the taunt's not even going to come. Amazing. I accept your world without taunt, sir. Alright, so that means that we can take Spaceman Reed out of the Pitcha and then auto-battle the rest of this one. EMZ coming in saying you can use Garmadon at 2 stars. And indeed, there are some people sub 50 in the arena who have been using Garmadon. If they can keep sub 50 without it and they think he's a cool character, then more power to them. He is a very, very powerful toon. If you had him up at 7 stars, he'd be... I mean, just forget about it. Like, that's the only thing that you would need. Just do Garmadon exclusively for everything. Okay, we are in Brickspedition now. We are going to start here on the bottom to get a Firefighter Ash tile. Then we will come up here to the middle with our castle team, going down following that to get this poppy tile. Coming to the middle and then going... I think now, when I have the opportunity, it's still going to be Fire Station first, but I think I might do Magisto's Tower second. So I'm going to come up here, especially since Businessman Trent is available in the Monolith, so it's an easy farm. So I'm going to come up here and grab this Magisto tile, come down and grab this Businessman tile. Ooh, actually, no, because it requires the castle level 56. So, we're going to come over, here we go, to the top, grab Ice Station Odyssey, and then make our way down to the final set of Magisto's Tower nodes. We're going to be, for the best of our ability, doing this entire thing with the fire station so we can continue to see how that plays. I have changed the way I do my team a little bit. I'm still leveling up my minor clay. The problem, though, for the extra grit, right? for the hopefully extra stacks of courage. What I'm finding, however, is that the team does too little damage. So this is the team that I'm currently running, and we're going to be playing with this because obviously Businessman Trent does a lot more damage than Miner Clay. So that's what we're working with right now. I'm going to be throwing in guild allies right from the beginning because I got 12 of them and only 10 nodes to go. And we're going to just keep stock of how many stacks of courage we get. So this opening team, obviously you've got to start with Scarlet, with the exception of the mystical magical stealth that Lloyd puts us into. We're going to auto battle these easy ones because why not? So still just keep track of what's happening with all of the characters in the game as we go. We have some taunting, some AoE, but the characters that we're fighting against are too low level to actually make it worth really doing any sort of analysis, which is why we just auto battle through that one. Theo, he's very usable 2 stars, which you're not a fan of. Perhaps he's going to be nerfed at some point. That is actually a good point. If he is viable at 2 stars, where other characters are not viable until they get to 5, 6, or 7 stars, it is an indication that he is too strong. So we will see what they do in that regard. Him being usable at 2 stars is because he's such a long farm. He's quite powerful, but since his farm is super long, we won't see him as powerful as we see him in Bricks. You're talking about, I assume, at the very end of Brickspedition, where he's in the ninja node at the like end of a board. That is a good point. However, I think that all things being equal, a character being a longer or a harder farm is just a matter of time. But given enough time, all the characters get to 7 stars. And then you've got to make sure that they're balanced, right? So he might be a long farm and he might be a really good character, and that's okay. But if he's a game-breaking character, in my opinion, that's still going to cause a problem, and he would still need to be nerfed at some point. All right, we're going to throw in obviously a different team here. Let's go with our castle team, with our castle set, because why are they not doing that? All right, and we'll throw in the highwayman to get some extra damage in here. Let's see. Right. So EMZ, you're talking about, yes. The opinion that everybody has of Garmadon is definitely still how powerful he is at the end of Brickspedition. 100%. And I think it's a good point, really, about how long the farm is. But yeah, as I mentioned before, it's eventually, though, you will get him. And then what? If he's so powerful that he's just game breaking, then you don't really have any options, right? Then you have to get him. Otherwise you're intentionally playing the game badly. I think that's one of the issues with balancing these games in general, right? You have 100 different characters and you're putting together teams of 5. And you need to balance all of them so that to some extent they are all equally viable as choices to put on your team. It's a very, very difficult thing to do, and I think in most people's estimation so far, Gameloft is not doing a great job of that. There are some characters that are just clearly stronger than others, and some characters that have clearly fallen behind. I mean, when they asked which characters in space, for example, people wanted to rework, it was almost universally Kelvin. That is a signal that their balancing is way off, right? Because if the space team had been more well balanced, then you would have seen a more even distribution of people voting for who needed to be fixed the most. I'll be interested to see going forward what happens with all of this. I know that the game is, in the world of these things, still relatively new. The developers are still focusing on pushing out new content, rather than actually focusing on game balance. Some people like that because there is a shortage of content in the game. The majority of the time that you spend in the game every day is just in the Brickspedition. And if that bores you, well, then you're just going to leave at some point, really, is what's going to happen. So I think there's a lot to consider here. I think it is kind of neat that there are some characters that are Brickspedition exclusive. I think that it's neat that there are some characters that are Arena Currency exclusive. But I think it's worth noting that the balance on pretty much everything needs to be looked at overall. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that statement. And if they do, well, I'll take them to court. So there. Court? No, that's weird. Okay. So what do we have going on in this level? This is another standard middle level. The hard part here is managing to reach that yuppie. Yuppie behind the Yeti, who is going to taunt right from the beginning. Ooh, okay, but we're actually pretty close. The Yuppie is going to hopefully get demolished in Ash's AoE. There we go. EMZ, a lot of guildies have left due to Ghostbusters and the lack of content. It's a sad thing. EMZ, I agree with you. My hope is that when the content creator program launches, because I think that's going to be the next big thing, probably. I know that, what's his name? WAF? WAF was on vacation, and I know that's his baby. When he comes back and really gets things sorted out again, my hope is that the content creators that they choose will have a bit more of an ear of some of the Gameloft developers and be able to push through some suggestions and be able to look at some of the content early and say, hey guys, here's really what you need to start focusing on to better things in the eyes of your community. I think the next big release is actually going to be the space update, apparently followed by raids. So my hope is that within another month, there is more content here. I think they have really got to push out those raids before Thanksgiving. Otherwise, the game is going to be dead in the water. It's sad to say. But if you're not growing in this industry, then you're falling behind. That's just the reality of it, right? Okay, look at this. Our Sal taking tons of damage here. But he's 7 stars now. He's a big, tough, construction working dude. He can handle it. Come on, Trent. Throw me some damage. More damage than Mina Clay. And then... Great. So now we're going to be finishing things up here. 9,000 point crit from Firefighter Ash. Always appreciate you, Ash. Always. Theo, it's a little annoying they seem to have split up space and raids into separate updates, but at least it gives time to farm some potential new characters. You mean swipe your card. I think it's actually smart that they split up space and raids into 2 different updates, because people have been calling for both for a while, and I think that if they split them up in this way, it gives them the time to actually focus on them separately and hopefully, cross your fingers, do a decent job on both rather than a mediocre job on them simultaneously, if that makes sense. Now, I'll be interested to see what the point of the space rework is. Right now, it seems like it would be super obvious for them to go, oh, okay, it's because they're going to be super helpful in raids, so we want to make sure to put them out first, let everybody know that they're going to be extremely useful, extremely powerful for raids, and give people time to farm them before the raids begin. I think that that would be a very smart way for them to go. But again, we'll just kind of have to see what happens there. I think people have very high hopes for this. I think people have very, very high hopes for this space rework and very high hopes for the raids. So they really need to take the time to get it right. From what I know, one of the new space isn't unboxed, but that's just a rumor. I mean, I would imagine if they are going to release a new space character that they would probably do it in an unboxed event. I don't think, depending on what master events, I think Gorwell is the master event, right? For space. So I think if they're going to release a new character, they would have to do it in an unbox. I mean, I guess they could do a Brickpace event, but if they were to do the Brickpace event where people were required to have space, then they're going to get a lot of flack because no one has space, because space is terrible. So I think unboxed would then have to be the way to go. I hope Gorwell will be in a time quest. Tio, I am sure that Gorwell will be in a time quest at some point. All of the other characters, especially the master characters, have started showing up there. I'll bet Wu gets in there at some point. Actually, no. I take that back. Master characters will probably not be in the time quest because the amount of tiles that you get to unlock them is set perfectly within their master events. So if you want to get 5 stars or 6 stars or 7 stars for, say, Wu, you have to have the ability to beat the node of his master event at 5, and then you get him at 5. And then when you beat the next level, you get him at 6. So unfortunately, I would consider it unlikely that any of the master event characters will ever appear in a timed quest for that reason. Gorwell is in bags, not a master event? Huh. Really? I didn't know that. I thought, well, obviously I thought, because I've been saying it for the past several minutes, that that Gorwell was a master event. But even still, if Gorwell is not a master event, then sure, why not? Let's put her in the timed quests. Okay. On this tile, Tio, I'm using your Yupster. So Gorwell is in bags, meaning that you just straight up have to pay for Gorwell. There's nothing else. Just straight up pay money for Gorwell. Blacktron Quincy. Okay. So this node can take a while. I am going to give Firefighter Ash the attack up. And we're just gonna start smashing down Lloyd as best we can. I'm gonna get everybody topped up, give everybody some speed up here. Let's get the whole team going around, getting the band back together. Oh, can construction worker Sal defeat Lloyd in this one hit? I don't know, so I'm gonna put the taunt on him. Alrighty then. Gorwell is out of stealth, which means that we're going to start focusing on Gorwell instead because she is a much bigger threat to us at the moment. Businessman Stank, come in and take her out. I'm going to give Hardy to Sal, give him his little heal. Now, Jester Gogo is going to taunt. That is going to heal up Lloyd, but Yuppie coming in with that ultimate. This should be massive damage done to Magisto. All right, except that all the damage from the city team is pretty terrible. And Poppy was one of our assists. Doesn't matter, take him down anyway. Let's go ahead and throw some hots onto construction worker Sal. Keep him nice and healthy. And then take down Zane as the biggest damage dealer left on their team. Lloyd is going to stealth everyone again. Boo earns, but oh, dodge, unfortunate dodge. Give me that crit up, that speed up for Ash, and another dodge. My two biggest characters both getting dodged by the terrible Gameloft demon of dodge. Oh, goodness. The dodge demons are out in full force today, guys. And there's nothing that we can do about it. Because it's hard-coded into the program. Oh, that's another dodge. Look at this dodgy McDodgerson Lloyd. Without dodge up. And without accuracy down on any of my characters. Lloyd has dodged 3 of the biggest attacks I have on my team in a row. How do you not see that this is a mechanical problem, Gameloft? How do you not see this? Get out of here. Get out of here, Lloyd. Now, let's take down our Cook Bart. Great. Thank you for the use of your yuppie, Tio. I appreciated all the extra damage. Okay, let's see. Gorwell's 100% pay to play. She's the only bit of healing that Space has. Yeah, that's problematic. And it's her ultimate, right? They've already made the Ghostbuster faction pay to play. They can't make Space the same. I hope they don't. Yeah, I think that that is going to be a very large problem for the community in general. If they don't start fixing that pay-to-play aspect of things, then people who don't pay money are just going to leave. And while you might say, well, they're not paying money anyway, they're not really contributing to the life of the game, except that they provide the rest of the community over which the pay-to-play players, the pay-to-players, if you will, actually play the game. So without them, there is no game. It's just who can spend more money. And I don't know, that just seems wrong for... I know I'm not really going to get any argument out of anybody here, but that seems wrong for a game that is essentially marketed toward children and nostalgia, really, is what this is all about, right? Because everybody remembers their Legos from when they were kids. Everybody wants to collect the Legos and play with their favorite minifigures. I mean, that's what Classic Space is all about, right? Classic Space... No, none of the young kids nowadays know anything about Classic Space sets. And I don't mean that to sound like an old fart or anything, but it's the truth, is it not? I mean, they, like... Oof, okay. Okay, lots of stuff happening here. Oh, no! We have counter on our Redbeard. That is going to be a problem. Sorry, I switched gears a little bit so that I could focus here. I really don't want to deal with the counter from either of these characters. Oh man. Okay, well luckily Sal is going to get a turn before anybody else goes, which means that he should be able to... He's about to get smacked pretty hard. So I think I'm going to save Poppy's heal, but I'm going to use his heal. Great. Now I saved Poppy's heal for the chance to res, because I think we're going to need it. Now, Reed is about to go. Let's see if we can take him out before he actually gets a turn off. Might be able to do it. Oh, he resisted. Can you take him down? Great. So we've got him there. Now, Captain Redbeard is going to get in a hit on... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's come in here and take a hit on Redbeard. We will go ahead and heal with Poppy. We are not going to taunt with Sal. Oh, this is going to be close, though. Ooh, we actually got a lucky miss in that case because it prevented us from getting retaliated against from our Redbeard. So now what we need to do is go around rather slowly, which luckily, if there's anything that the city team can do well, it's move slowly. We're just going to try to toss out as many heals as we possibly can to get our construction worker Sal back up to nice and healthy before going into the final node. Okay. Sal, Sal, one turn off from grabbing his nice healthy heal. And we'll come in here and finish it out this way. Now I'm going to be throwing Iggy on the team. Theo, your Iggy is coming onto the team for my battle against the ninjas. Wish us luck, sir. Whew. Okay, what were we talking about before? Oh, right, pay to play. So, I've been actually watching some YouTube videos on people running commentary on the pay to play nature of a lot of these games. And there have been games that have gotten so pay to play that the characters that wail in the game have actually been able to influence the development of the game. Now that's a problem because it means that your players own the game essentially instead of your developers. Some people might consider that a good thing because the players will demand what they want, and if they get it, then that's all great. The problem is it's not all the players, it's only the, if you will, top 1% of players who are going to be gaining things in the game that way. I think that's a big problem because if the majority of your players want to be free to play, then they are going to demand things differently from those who are willing to pay money for it, right? That's kind of a given. And if it's only the people who are paying money for the game that are actually making the decisions, then your game's gonna fail. There's no other way to say it, really. Your game is basically dead in the water. Oh, nice. Get that 10,000 point crit. I like it. Now, what do we do here? I think let's try to remove some turn meter from... Yeah. All right, now if we can take down Kai, that would be glorious. Can we get dizzy on people as well? No! Oh, bring it back to life. Come on, Ash. No, Ash stays dead for this round, which is going to be a big problem because Firefighter Ash does all the damage on this team. Boo urns, sir. Boo to the urns. Well, we're going to keep on plugging away. Eventually, Poppy will get another look at bringing folks back to life. We'll see if it happens at that point. We're going to take out Kai if we can. Can we get rid of Kai? Yes, we can! Oh gosh, I still have to hit him twice in order to get this to work. Come on, Kai, get out of here. Brilliant. Now, we're gonna have some problems because Wu is about to do his ultimate. It's gonna lock people out. Oh, I thought it was going to lock people out of their abilities, but I was wrong. Still, we don't have enough damage to get to Wu before he does his ultimate. Does he not have his ultimate? What's going on here? He hasn't done it. All right, bring Ash back. Yay! Ash is back, everybody. Unfortunately, though, I still needed to get the heal off on Sal before I can really taunt with him again. And Ash is gone again. Boo. Unfortunately, that is going to be a consequence of Sal not having his taunt ready because we had to heal him instead. Not very much we could do about that, but in another couple of turns, we will be back to trying to resurrect Ash again. Let's go ahead and remove some of that turn meter from Big Papa Wu. Come on, Wu. Wu still hasn't done his ultimate ability. Not sure what's going on there. I am continuing not to use Sal's taunt because I want to wait until I have my Ash back on the board to do so. Come on, give me Ash. Ah, boo. Okay, additionally, we're going to save the chef's heal. Go around and just do some basic attacks. Although now I'm going to take this opportunity to throw grit up on everybody. Yes. Yes, see? Save everybody's specials for the next round. Everybody has a little grit up going as we get to the next ninja team. Now, can we get dizzy on everybody? Not that it matters because they don't really get... Ooh, here's the question, and the answer is probably no. All right, what I'm gonna do here is actually just slow down Jay. Because Jay has the ability to rock some massive damage, and unfortunately, I don't have enough damage on this team available to get another character down before Lloyd were to do his stealth. So even if I had removed turn meter from Lloyd in order to try and get another character out first, I would have failed. Okay, so now, oh, they take out Poppy, and that's going to really be that for us. Unfortunately, we have no chance to resurrect anybody anymore. We're just gonna have to do our best to try to get Lloyd as low as possible before we come in with our pirate team and just go busto on this second half of the ninjas for today. The damage is low here though, folks. The damage is low. Seeing how crucial Firefighter Ash is to a city team now. In case you didn't know it already, which you should have, honestly. Okay. Oh gosh, everybody's locked out of their abilities. There's so much dodgy everywhere you look. We're just getting slammed left, right, and center. We're going down. We're going down. Send in cavalry. Come on, save me. Nope, there's no saving me. Because the city team is weak. That's why. Okay. I hope SeaWorld doesn't do that, but from what I know, they have mobilized and won't spend you less. EMZ, I'm not sure what you mean there. Aren't the enemies Gear 5 on day 2, which is much more manageable? I think they are, but as you can see, didn't make much of a difference for us there. So, we'll come in with our pirates, and we'll mop up this horrible mess that the city team made. I'm still looking forward to getting Primo onto this team. I think that there is some real viability there, but without him, there's just none. I'll also be interested to see what happens once I get them all up to 7 stars. That might make a difference. So, we'll see. There's still a bunch of ways to go. Now, I'm going to have to get lucky with some of the RNG here because Lloyd has a bunch of dodge up. All of my characters are missing in their accuracy right now. My game is, there we go, taking the stutter. But great. We spread that around. Now, if I can take out Wu or Naya, this will make things a lot easier. I'm going to try to take out Naya first, actually. Because I want to be able to get at DigiJ, and DigiJ heals automatically every single time you hit him while Naya is alive. Not literally every single time, but basically. So, we got to get Naya down in order for her to stop being an issue for us to then get DigiJ. She is gone. DigiJ is in our sights next. Pirate team, as opposed to the city team, does plenty of damage, so this is an excellent one. Oh, and then we have all of the problems, all of the lockout abilities. We had 1 dodge on the team. Now, Wu has already done his master, so we're going to try and come in here and smash on Garmadon instead. He is likely to do his, there we go, AoE full heal, but now that that is gone, he's got nothing left. Unless, I was gonna say, unless Wu puts him into stealth, which he can do, but in this case, it's gonna be Sayonara Sucka, unless he dodges peg legs, walk the plank, which is more than not what happens. Oh, there's another dodge. Excellent. Love the dodge. Let's go ahead and take the Hardy off of Wu. I only want to have to kill him once, please. Grab the heal from the hiker, not that we really needed it, and we'll auto battle the rest of the way through this Brickpedition board. Outskis. I think Poppy only really works well with Winston. Without him, I think you're better off with Aurora instead of Poppy, even without her Ice Glider. Theo, I agree with you. I have actually started farming Aurora much more heavily. I'm using a lot of my my normal campaign energy to get her, and it is my plan to replace Poppy with Aurora on the team. Her guaranteed res is much better than Poppy's chance to res, even though Poppy's heal comes around more often because it has actually a relatively low cooldown for a relatively low turn cooldown for a full team heal ability. I still think that the guaranteed res is more important, as you guys are seeing. So let's throw people in here and get all of our points for awesomeness. For tomorrow, we will have all attacker heroes gaining 15% attack for the entire battle, all heroes gaining dodge chance up 2 for 2 turns, and all heroes gaining debuff immunity for 2 turns. Very nice. I meant unless things get better. It's the sort of control you were talking about where the players or the whales are in control. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's so much that has to be balanced here. I mean, you have from the gameplay side of things, right? You want to make sure that the game is first and foremost fun. And part of that is that the game has to be the right level of challenging, but the right level of easy. There has to be enough content for us to partake in, enough different choices for us to make. There's a lot that goes to it. Secondly, the game has to be able to make money, right? If it doesn't make any money, then you just can't hold it up. So there have to be opportunities for people to spend money, and there have to be reasons for people to spend money on those opportunities. And that was my biggest problem with the Ghostbusters, is you had the opportunity to spend money. Great. And then if you did, what did you get? Ghostbusters? Why? Who cares? What do you need them for? You don't. So that was the biggest problem with it to me. You introduce a brand new set of characters that, while very cool and very heavy on the nostalgia factor, ultimately are kind of meaningless into the game. I mean, there is a meta emerging where people throw Venkman in, but that's just because he does a lot of damage. It doesn't have anything to do with him being a Ghostbuster, right? He could be, I mean, you could have called him Janitor Bob and just have him hit people with a mop that does 10,000 damage. It would have been exactly the same. So they added Ghostbuster IP into the game that ended up being relatively meaningless, in my opinion. And then, in all of that, you have to make sure that your game is safe. You have to make sure that your game is long-lasting. You have to make sure that it's possible for it to evolve, because mobile games are different than like console games. A console game you buy once, you play it for a few months until you beat it and unlock all the content, and that game is designed to then sit on your shelf and pretty much not be played again. But these games are designed to be played for upwards of a couple of years, 3 years. I mean, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has been going on for what? Almost 10 years now? At least 5. So there's a lot to consider here, and I think that there's a major issue with the balance of all of those things right now. Can you show Blacktron Quincy? Tio, who is Blacktron Quincy? You mean Blacktron Dave, or do you mean your yuppie? Without being a patron on... Gotcha. Venkman is more useful as a magical hero than a Ghostbuster. Yeah, 100% Theo. I don't think they'll be used as a team much. It's because no one can get them. I mean, you had to spend literally $400 to unlock all of them to a level that would be useful to you. I mean, you could have spent about $100 just to unlock all of them. And then, if you want Slimer on your team, you've got to get all of them to like 5 stars. It's a ludicrous amount of money to ask people to spend on a game like this, in my opinion. And I'd be very interested to see if, from Gameloft's perspective, it was a success. My inclination is to say it probably wasn't. I mean, how could it have been? Okay, we're gonna fight this Arctic Ice Explorer team here with our pirates. The goal here, obviously, is to get rid of Explorer Aurora first. In fact, that's the only thing you can do. Otherwise, the battle will never end, because she'll just keep bringing people back to life. Because the Arctic Liar is great. So, we're going to come in and just start hammering on Explorer Aurora from the beginning as best as we possibly can. Just unleash all the damage. Ooh, that dodge is super, super hurtful. Now, Lucy is not going to be able to finish her out. She's going to get healed, which means we need to try to lock the dummy out of his taunt, which we do. Excellent. The dummy being locked out of his abilities is going to be mega, mega helpful because we can come in and continue to smash on Explore Aurora for a while. I am actually going to put the taunt on Valiant instead of his healing buff because I just need extra rounds, extra turns to get around and keep hammering away at Explore Aurora. Now I do have an opportunity here for a pretty good heal, but I'm gonna pass it up in favor of just throwing more damage on Lucy, especially because all of the other characters on their team are locked out of their abilities. Boom. So, Explorer Aurora is down. I'm gonna focus on Firefighter Ash next because she is squishier. We are going to get exploded from the crash test dummy, but that's okay at this point. He actually might even taunt first. So now we're going to focus on the crash test dummy because if he explodes, then he explodes. But if he taunts, we want him to be nice and low, exactly like that. Perfect planning on this one. We will take out the crash test dum-dum, and then we will auto battle this, targeting Businessman Trent to take the W against this arena team. Now you can see how resilient this particular arena team is. This is a pretty good team. The Arctic Glider with Aurora, protected by the crash test dummy. If we had failed to get that disarm on the crash test dummy at the beginning, it would have been a completely different match. It would have taken a lot longer. We probably would have lost at least one person, almost definitely Valiant, but probably one or two more, to be completely honest with you. That will finish out the daily quests for today, meaning that I have 20, count them, 20 tiles of Redbeard left to get before I get him to 7 stars. That's 7 days, 1 week. 1 week. This time next week, next Sunday, I should be getting him to 7 stars. I will be saving up at least 1.5 million coins, because as soon as I have the opportunity to get him to 7 stars, I plan to do it. I'm gonna be ready. So when that Peg Legs treasure event comes around, I'm gonna be grabbing all of those coins and I'm gonna be holding on to them, holding on to that cash for 7-star Peg Leg. That's pretty much it for the stream today, folks. A little bit shorter than usual. We had very few notes to go over today. The Ghostbusters event coming to a close. Everybody who's gonna get Slimer already has him. What did you think? The general consensus is it required too much money to get rewards that are questionably useful at best. Where is the space rework? When are raids coming into the game? This is what everybody wants to know. Raids, I think, more important even than the space update, because raids bring more content into the game. And complaint number 1 is that people want to be able to play the game in more ways. Brickspedition is fun, but now that I've finished it, the game is basically done. Log in for 5 minutes at a time, go through your arena every time you get new energy. Maybe you log in for 60 seconds so you can use that energy, but that's about it, right? So, here's to the game developers. I should do it like this. Here's to the game developers listening to our constructive criticism, what we enjoy about the game, what we hope gets better in the future. And hopefully we'll see some real change, guys. Hopefully we will. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go outside, play with your friends. If you didn't call your mom yesterday after I told you to, call her today. She's been waiting. All right, guys, I'll see y'all later.